We made it to Yosemite. I'm about to walk through a rainbow. We've made it to Descend on La Sierra, a camping gathering. We're ready to have some fun all weekend. Today is Saturday, the second day of the 3-day event. We just left maybe 30 minutes ago. I wanted to go ahead and share this experience while it was kind of fresh. Maybe an hour before we left, I was taking Sadie for a walk on her leash, far from other vans, far from other dogs. We just did it yesterday and there was no problem. And an unleashed dog where I didn't see an owner came, and sometimes dogs will come kind of close, but they'll keep going. But this dog came a little too close, and this normally doesn't happen, so I didn't really know what to do. It all happened really fast and I just had to react, so I just got I got in between Sadie and the dog, trying to create a barrier, and I tried to like shoo the dog away, but the dog went around me and started trying to attack Sadie. It was like barking and like being aggressive. I just tried to act fast and I tried grabbing the leash. Of course she's trying to get away, and I'm trying to like pull the leash to pull her towards me so I can pick her up and run to the van. And I managed to pick her up, but she is just clawing with all her might to get out of my arms, and I have like the scratches. I was bleeding. And she got out and she ran to the closest van. It was someone else's van. And she ran to their van and went underneath. And that dog chased her, and I can't see what's going on because there's a lot in the way. But I just see the dog going after her so aggressively. All I can think is this dog is trying to eat my cat. That's what it felt like. I run over there as fast as possible and I see her under the van. Thankfully, the people who own the van were there to help, and they were really nice. And the guy, he like shooed the dog away and somehow got the dog to go away and helped control the situation. I tried to get Sadie out, and then I saw her crawl up into their van, like underneath the van where like the engine and all the parts are. And their van, I think it was a Ford Transit, but it was really low to the ground. It's not like mine where it's kind of lifted. This one is, there's like this much space between the ground and the bottom of the van. I saw her crawl up in that space. I just couldn't see where she went. I crawled under there to try to see her, and I couldn't see her, but I went and got some food. And I don't know if she's injured. I don't know if she was bitten. I don't know if she's okay. I can't hear her at all. I'm calling her, and I'm like super shaky and traumatized because everything just happened so fast, and my baby's in danger, and it was really traumatizing. I went and got her wet food and I put it under the van to try to get her to come down, and I sat there and waited. I waited and waited. You can see I still have grass all over me, all in my hair from it, from crawling under the van. Tried making noise, like they gave me a long broom, and I tried to knock on the bottom of the van to make noise to scare her out, but that didn't work. It probably made her not want to come out. She's just hiding because she was just super traumatized, and I don't blame her at all. It was really uncomfortable. You know, I'm like under these people's van. They don't know anything about me. I'm not even 100% sure Sadie's under there. I just saw her go up there, but she could have easily snuck out somewhere else. And so I was worried. We were all worried. But then finally, after maybe 15 minutes, she finally came down to try to eat. And then when I went to get her, she went back up into the van. But at least we knew she was there, so that was good. I was able to reach her, but I couldn't pull her down because every time I tried to pull, she would like latch on more tightly to the inside of the van. So I just had to wait. I tried to like put her food up to her. She would lick it, and then I tried to pull it down so she would come down, but she wouldn't. I just laid the food there and I just waited for her to come out, and she finally did. And I was able to grab her, and I ran to the van and put her in the van and closed the door, and we were safe. That was such a horrific experience. It was traumatizing. I think I'm more traumatized than she is because she seems pretty calm now. She doesn't have any major injuries that I can see, but she does have a scratch on her face, and every time I see that scratch, I just think that could have been her eye. Like, she could have lost an eye. It could have been something more major. Like, she's so vulnerable. And I feel so bad that I wasn't able to protect her. But the only reason I'm saying this is because part of the rules of that event is that dogs are supposed to be on a leash at all times. A lot of the dogs weren't on a leash. And I personally don't even have a problem with dogs roaming around freely if they're trained not to attack other animals. Some dogs will run around, they'll see Sadie, but they'll just keep going. And I don't have a problem with that. But if your dog is not trained not to do that, then it needs to be on a leash. It needs to be on a leash. Your dog is your responsibility. When your dog is roaming around freely and it's not trained to not attack other animals, it is a bully to other animals, and other people and their animals cannot enjoy the space safely and freely like you are, and it's not fair to other people. So this is just a PSA to leash your pets, because these things shouldn't happen. It's not the Sin's fault necessarily, but the rules weren't being enforced, and they can't control what people do. They can't control any time someone breaks a rule, but the rules are there for a reason. The rules are there so that everyone can enjoy the space freely and fairly and safely. Everyone, not just you. Because when you break rules, you affect other people and their ability to enjoy the space. I looked around and I didn't see the owners anywhere. The dog just came from out of nowhere. It's just roaming around. The owner doesn't know what it's doing, who it's attacking, or anything. And I have a problem with that. My cat was on a short leash. We were far from other vans. We were far from other dogs, other animals. That dog came into our space and attacked. These things are preventable. They shouldn't happen. Because it happened, I don't feel comfortable being there anymore. It's really sad because I was looking forward to this for months. Thankfully, we're physically okay, and I think Sadie has already recovered mentally from it. She seems very calm and very over it. I'm not quite over it yet, but I'm sure I'll calm down more as time passes. After that happened, all I wanted to do was just get out and get away. And it's not the first time we didn't feel safe. Last night there was a band playing and I went to go see the band. And I was walking back to my van from the venue, from the barn, and a dog came out of nowhere, unleashed, and just started barking at me aggressively. And just as I kept walking, it kept following me and barking at me. And I don't think that's okay. I mean, if your dog is aggressive, you need to either train it or have it on a leash. I just think everyone should be able to enjoy it equally. We all paid the same amount to be there. Thanks for listening. I feel better just talking about it because I was not feeling okay earlier. I'm so happy Sadie's okay. I'm gonna continue to love up on her and apologize. Because I feel so bad that that happened to her. And she's my baby. I don't want anything to happen to her.
You're such a fragile thing, I know. And with the winter comes the ice, the snow. But I'm here to hold. No, my love, don't worry about the
My plans were to just go to the event and enjoy my time there as much as possible. And then, but when it's over, then decide what to do next. Now it's time to decide. I'm thinking about going to Moab and going to Arches and Canyonlands. I know it's not their fault necessarily, and there's not much they can do about this, I guess, but I did send an email to Dison just letting them know what happened and that we decided to leave because we didn't feel safe there anymore, and that we were really sad that that happened. I mean, we did sign a waiver that said that there might be risks involved, and maybe that's one of the risks. So that's just part of it, I guess. I don't really know what to do other than just leave. Really disappointing. Really disappointing. I just drove and drove and drove. I just wanted to get out of there, and because my fight or flight was activated and I flew. I pulled over on the side of the highway. I'm just trying to compose myself a little bit. It's really helped talking to someone, even though right now that someone looks like a little black box with a red light flashing at me. But I'm pretending that it's a friend and that it's one of you. I'm feeling a lot better talking about it and getting my thoughts and feelings out to help kind of process what happened and just kind of calm down from everything and decide what our next steps are going to be. We're about to drive onto the salt. It's crazy. Good morning. Good morning, baby. She's like, who are you talking to, Mom? I don't see anybody.